October 26, 1813. Along the Châteauguay River, a small force of Canadian militia and Mohawk warriors faced an American army 5 times their size. Their stand would save Montreal and alter the fate of a continent. The War of 1812 was raging. The United States sought to invade Canada. Montreal was the key target. Severed there, British supply lines would collapse. Colonel Charles de Salaberry stood in their path. He commanded about 1,600 defenders, mostly local militia, voltigeurs, and Mohawk allies. They were outnumbered nearly 5 to 1. The terrain favored the defenders. Barricades blocked the approaches. Hidden positions covered the paths. Deception would be their force multiplier. American columns pressed forward. Their numbers looked unstoppable. But every tree concealed defenders. Signals echoed across the woods. The illusion. Far more troops than there were. American scouts misread the battlefield. Confusion crept into the ranks. De Salaberry held his men steady. Positions were layered. Panic. Momentum stalled. De Salaberry rode the line. His presence steadied nerves. Positions held. Fresh attacks probed the front, but the forest swallowed them. Bugles blared once more. Encirclement seemed certain. Confusion spread. Mohawk pressure forced the flank back. Retreats began in pockets. The line remained unbroken. Hours of combat drained both sides. The defenders refused to yield. Breakthrough never came. Withdrawals gathered momentum. Dusk edged the canopy. The day's assault failed. Night complicated every move. Scouts misread. Positions. Bugles echoed in the dark. De Salaberry adjusted lines. American plans unraveled. Fatigue cut into resolve. Terrain did the rest. Defenders rotated positions. Communication stayed clear. American columns lost cohesion. Flanks felt pressure again. A feint drew them off. Center held firm. Skirmishing persisted. No clear path forward. Morale dipped. Defenders sensed a turn. American pace slackened. Signals kept the illusion alive. Numbers felt overwhelming and overlapping. A plan built on terrain, timing, and nerve. The first shots broke the silence. Bugles called from multiple directions. The forest multiplied their voices. American officers tried to regroup. The line stalled under fire. Attacks fed the illusion of encirclement. Fewer men appeared as many. Psychology became a weapon. Montreal's fate hung on this stand, and the defenders did not break. American columns advanced with determination. Flanking units probed the forest. Barricades forced them into choke points. Defenders waited for the moment. A crack of muskets shattered the calm. Front ranks reeled. Bugles called and calls answered. Orders tangled in the underbrush. Mohawk warriors struck the flank. Arrows and musket fire crossed the path. The forest masked numbers. America saw thousands. Reality was hundreds. De Salaberry's deception worked. Confidence anchored the line. American pressure mounted. Another defender volley. Smoke thickened in the trees. Mohawk strikes sowed. Reality stayed small and sharp. Shots came measured. Advance faltered again. Retreat signs appeared. De Salaberry held discipline. Orders remained simple. Line stayed tight. Flanks guarded. Center loaded. Another probe failed. Confusion compounded. Fear of encirclement rose. Command hesitated. Withdrawal became the answer. Defenders watched, held fire. The forest exhaled. The attackers withdrew. The Canadians had held. Montreal was safe. The invasion had failed. Strength came from unity. Local militia stood their ground. Indigenous allies shaped the fight. Together, they turned the tide. Retreat followed confusion. Deception saved Montreal. Bugles and barricades worked. The War of 1812 pressed on, but Canada endured. Unity proved stronger than numbers. Courage amplified the few. Overshadowed by larger battles, Châteauguay stands for resilience. The war shaped nations. This battle saved Montreal. Supply lines survived intact. Defenders stood firm. Their courage carried forward. Indigenous allies are honored. Their role was decisive. Together, survival was secured. A symbol of resilience endures. A turning point, not a footnote. The Americans never reached Montreal. Canada endured the storm. The war ended in stalemate. Châteauguay was victory. It inspired generations. Defenders are honored today. The courage of 1813 lives on. Duty bound them. Unity sustained them. Survival was won. The war raged elsewhere. This stand was decisive here. It saved a city. It preserved a nation. It honored allies. It proved militia's worth. It showed courage. It showed unity. It showed resilience. They are remembered. Their story echoes. The war closed in 1815. The memory remains, a symbol of survival, a symbol of indigenous strength, a symbol of unity, a symbol of courage, a symbol of resilience. Firm in defense, withdrawn in defeat. City secured, nation preserved. History remembers them. Honor endures. The Battle of Châteauguay is commemorated. Canadian and Mohawk flags fly together. Soldiers recall the cost. All recall the courage.